I'm Karen Heller, founder and owner of Charisma LLC, and this is our garden. We have some cherry tomato plants, some cucumbers, cantaloupe, cherry tomatoes, peppers. What does our garden have to do with your networking and your success? Quite a bit. And in this vlog number 6, I'm going to be talking about pretty much gardening, but everything's going to be applicable to actually your network and your success. And that's because of a concept that I like to call network nurturing. Network nurturing is the idea that you think of your network as a living, breathing entity that with care and attention will thrive and prosper and provide for you the nourishment that you need to thrive and prosper. Now, when it comes to gardening, much like networking, the amount of effort that you put into it does not always equal desired results. The desired results have a lot to do with your goals. So we're going to start there because there's more than one way to grow some fruit. Examples of some goals you might set for yourself are you just growing enough to feed yourself? Are you one person, or do you have a family to feed? Or you might even want to grow enough to sell it. You might be more interested in the quality of the produce. You might be a chef, perhaps, and you're going for flavor or nutrients, or perhaps you want to grow your own cost-effective organic produce. And then you're really just more concerned about the quality, and then the efforts that go into that are going to be reflective of those goals. You might even want to grow your own to win the prize at the state fair. There were a couple years there we didn't have any goals for our garden, and we just threw some seeds in the ground and decided to take our chance on what came up. Surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, very little came up. And could we be disappointed? Well, kind of, I guess, if we did have hopes that we would get lucky. But considering all that farmers contend with, the chances of getting lucky are very slim. When you're gardening or when you're farming, there's probably a lot that's in your control, but there's certainly some things that aren't, like Mother Nature. You can't control when or how much it rains or how much sunshine that you get, and there's a little you can do to control pests and vermin that might come and devour your garden that you work so hard for. So if you do want to put in that effort, obviously there are certain efforts that you want to take, and what those efforts are still dependent on your goals. Now, my husband and I had a little argument about pruning. See, I thought that pruning was something that you do to a garden to make sure that it doesn't get overgrown and that you actually produce more vegetables and fruits. And that reminded me of my previous vlog where I talked about not accepting every invitation on LinkedIn. And then people responded with a lot of feedback on LinkedIn about how they weed out their network every so often and get rid of people that they haven't spoken with or get in touch with, so that when they do reach out to their network, there is a meaningful connection and they will get responses to invitations and the such. But this is, in essence, really his garden. He's the one that put the effort into it, and this is the result of no pruning. Now, we have enough produce right now to take care of ourselves, but who knows if maybe we could have had enough produce to share with our neighbors as well. Now, he didn't have the time to prune, and what you do with your garden as well as what you do with your network is highly dependent on how much time you have and what your budget is. And that will also determine what efforts you make as far as what kind of fertilizer you put on your garden, or how much water you put on your garden in times of drought. And that is something that you have to consider. Now, you might have an unlimited budget for your garden, and therefore you could just hire a gardener, especially if you didn't have a green thumb. Or you could, if you didn't have a green thumb, go in on a neighborhood project where you're just contributing maybe some money and other people put in the effort, or you put in this amount of effort so that other people who knew more about it could put in the majority of the effort. There's a lot of urban projects such as that. So see, I didn't have a lot of time for planting a garden this year. So what I did was I leveraged my husband's time and my daughter's time. And we put her to work, and she and my husband are actually responsible for this garden. And that's kind of like networking too, because you don't have to be the one who's friends with everybody in the room. But if you know somebody like that, well, then you can be the person that takes care of them so that they can be the person that takes care of their network, so that you can also leverage their network as well. Hi. Is that from your garden, Daisy? Yeah, did you grow it? Yeah, show everybody your garden. That's your garden right there? What's your favorite part of the garden? The cherry tomatoes? Yeah? Yeah. All right. Bigger? That's bigger? Is that bigger than the one Daddy has?
No.
No? It's heavy, huh? Yeah.
Slippery.
Good job on your garden, Bug. Now, of course, if you wanted produce, but you didn't want to be a gardener and you didn't want to have a garden, then you can just go to the farmer's market, or you can go to the grocery store and you can buy your fresh produce. But being successful isn't always that easy. Now, preliminary research has showed that hiring an agent, an employment agent, to market you and you actually utilize their network to market you is risky, because sometimes it requires an upfront investment and it's questionably effective. But things change. This economy may have changed a lot, and so we're actually doing a poll right now on LinkedIn to determine if these days, maybe if an agent approached a hiring manager representing some talent, if they wouldn't be more receptive. If you are a hiring entity, please go to the LinkedIn poll that's in the link that I've included. You can't click on it, so you have to type it in, and please respond. Contrary to how it sounds, a career transition management firm like Charisma LLC, we don't really act like employment agents. Although once we get to know our clients, we're happy to make introductions on their behalf. We're more like garden consultants. So what we want to do is sit down with you, help you gain clarity around your goals, determine what you want to grow, so to speak, and then we can sell you the seeds that you would need to plant, and then provide guidance around how you would turn those seeds into the produce that meets your needs. So if that is something that you're interested in, please visit charisma.com, fill out a needs assessment form, send it back to us along with your recent resume, and take advantage of a free resume and campaign evaluation, and let us unveil your brilliance.